Hello, teachers. Welcome to our webinar here at Leirilivro. My name is Sérgio Gomes, and I'm an editorial consultant. And today I'm going to take you through our Teacher's Interactive ebook. But I like to call it the teacher's best friend, because with a tool like this, you can't get better, making teaching so much easy. Now, the great benefits of using our Teacher's Interactive ebook. First of all, it comes in a flash drive, or it can be downloaded from Sala Digital. And better yet, no dependence on the internet. So you basically plug in your flash drive, or as we say in Portuguese, your pen, and you're good to go. So I'm going to use DigiUp 9th Ano as a model. All our software are set up along the same line. And I'm going to take you through the various tools in our software so you know exactly how our software works. So we've tried to make it as teacher-friendly as possible, easy to maneuver, and easy to teach with. So I'm going to start. So we have the whole project here digitally laid out. We have on the left column the units, and then on the right column we have the extras. Okay, that's the supplement material. And then we have assessment, extensive reading, more games, videos, grammar videos, and word list. So let's begin with the unit. So as we open up here, we have the pages of the book, exactly. So we have the model page. When you click on the box, it automatically opens. We click on the circle here, and it opens again. When you see a button with a question mark, it's the teacher's answer if you want to use it. And we've tried to link as much sound as possible so that the students are constantly listening to a native teacher in class. So here's the sound.
I get up at 7 a.m. every day. I have a shower and get dressed, have breakfast, brush my teeth, and go to school. I finish school at 3:30 p.m. and then I have football practice or dance class.
I can close it.
I go back home and do my homework. In the evenings, I chat online with my friends.
Okay, and I can do that successively. If I click, it's a refresh button, and I can start all over again. Okay, so I did the lead in. I go back, and I completed the module page. I go back, and I'm going to start with the reading. Now, all of a sudden, we have these circles, and as you can see, there's a circle for almost every exercise. So every exercise becomes interactive. So I click on the first circle, and it says, look at the title of the text. What do you think it means? Teacher suggested answers. Click here.
I think the title of the text means we need to complete an important task every day.
Then I go to the next exercise. So we have a reading. We have the reading videos. Okay, if we click here, which will...
A frog a day. If it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning, Mark Twain said. That sounds like a strange piece of advice at first, doesn't it?
So the students are seeing the text through a video so that they can associate the words with the image. If the teacher wishes, she can remove the subtitles, can put the subtitles back on, and from here you have a volume button which you can increase the volume. All on the same screen, so it's very teacher friendly. Okay, we can close the video and we can do the reading. Now we have a sound box.
That sounds like a strange piece of advice at first, doesn't it?
And the reading will appear in karaoke form. When these two boxes appear here, it's a sub-exercise, so we'll click here. And it says, now match the highlighted word in the text to the correct meaning below. So, to finish a task successfully, anyone? That's right, to achieve. Teacher has always the correct answer. Useful piece of information or advice? That would be a tip. We can drag or drop. Or rather, we can click here and all the answers appear. We can click here and it'll show me the text. We can click on the word achieve. And it's going to show me an image that they can associate with. And at the same time, it's going to give me a different contextualization of the word. So the students are always accessible to the vocabulary. We can close it and continue. When the box becomes gray, that means we've completed sub-exercises. We can go here, next exercise, look at the idioms in bold in the text and match them to the correct definitions. And as you know, teaching idiomatic expressions is not the easiest thing. So let's look here. Someone's preference. Anyone? Let's try a piece of cake. No, the answer is everyone's cup of tea. Okay, so the student might not understand it. We can go to the word up and we can see a piece of cake.
A piece of cake.
Algo fácil or simples. So we're constantly working with the vocabulary. We go back and we're going to see a piece of cake in context. So they're able now to associate the meaning of that word that they saw in the text that they might have not understood when they first saw the video or read. So we're constantly working with vocabulary. Okay, so sub-exercise. So we're going to do it around and I'm going to put all the answers. And so a piece of cake, I've nearly finished my math homework. It's a piece of cake. Go back here. Everything's on the same screen for me. A piece of cake. Algo fácil or simples.
A piece of cake.
And I can go back here and they can see where a piece of cake appears in the text. So it's right there, all visible, all contextualized. Student will definitely learn the vocabulary with the software. Okay, but even there, we can go back here and we have a translator and we can choose any word from the text. Pick, escolher, they can hear it. We can show the positioning of it, it's a verb. We can show all the translations here. Or we can select words that they have difficulty learning and can practice them. So we can play with the software in various ways. Okay, I'm going to close the translator. Gray box. I finished the sub-exercise. Next exercise. I can read the text. Are the sentence true or false? Doesn't say. I can go back again one more time. Recycle the vocabulary. Click here. Overall means in all. Callie could have done better in one of her exams. Challenge, the same thing. Go back, refresh. Now I'm going to do the comprehension. The advice about eating frogs hasn't existed for years. True, false, doesn't say. Doesn't say. Eating a frog means completing a big task. True. And when I click on the button with the question mark, it's going to underline where I got the answer. To eat a frog is to do a very important task. Oh my God, that makes your life so much easier. You don't have to, Setor, onde é que se encontra essa resposta? Olha, João, encontra-se entre a linha 6 e 7. Setor, mas eu não vejo, no meu manual não está a linha 6 e 7. They can see it, they'll understand it. It's all there. All the tools you need, always in front of you. I want to put all the answers up. I can do that there. I can check here. It's all there. Every time the button here, it'll justify the answer. Okay, refresh. Next exercise. Answer the questions. What is the real meaning of the tip at the start of the text? This is suggested answer. When the button with the question mark appears, we'll click on it and it's going to justify where the answer is. Everything on the side screen I don't have to scroll down. I don't have to go back. I don't have to go forward. It's all there. I need to translate anything. I go into my translator and I'm constantly working the vocabulary with them. Okay, what is the text about? And finally, a bit of critical thinking. We have 2 quotes here. We put as much sound as possible. So
Your
they're
future
constantly
is
listening.
found in your daily routine.
So they're
Successful
constantly
people
listening
do
to a native
daily
speaker.
what others do occasionally.
Sorry about
All are
that.
white.
So they're constantly listening to a native speaker. Suggested answer for the teacher, and we can play it.
Personally, I agree with Henry Van Dyke's quotation. He's saying that if you always do the same things, you will never have new experience.
Okay, you have everything. You can justify everything. All the tools at your fingertip. Okay, the box is great. That means we've completed all the exercises on that page. We're going to go back, and I have completed page 12 and 13. Okay, so I did the reading, I did the comprehension, I worked with some idiomatic expressions. Now I'm going to do the vocabulary. Okay, first of all, I'm going to present the vocabulary. Obviously, I have to recycle words that the students have learned in the past, and I'm going to teach them new words. So we'll go from here, I'll click here, scroll through. This one they've learned in the past, have a shower, etc. I click on this, all the answers appear. It's there for them. Okay, now if I go to Word Up, I have the translation. So go to bed,
Go to bed.
have a nap.
Have a nap.
So I have a built-in translator, and at the same time, they're listening to the word again. Okay, and we're going to make it as fun as possible. So we've tried to gamify our software anywhere we could because playing games with them is an excellent tool to motivate them. And the best thing about playing these games is the teacher can participate also. So what are we going to do here? Click to match. João says number 1. Well, play. João says number 1. Maria says number 7. Pedro 11. Have a shower. Joanna, so let's see if we can take a nap. Okay, let's see if we can reset. Have a nap, point. Okay, so we can play games with them at the same time we're recycling the vocabulary. Have you noticed how many times they've seen the same word over and over and over? So how? We're doing through reinforcement learning. So we'll close the game, go to the next exercise. So all our exercises are carefully scaffolded from basic to more complex. So if you find that the level is too high, you stop at the basic exercises. So let's try and use the words that we've learned. About 25% of teens work, or they can say over 80% stream videos, okay? Or you can click on the button on top and all the answers appear. You have to translate. We have the translator there. We have to go back and show the word. So you have the visual stimuli to the word. So they're always seeing the word. They're listening to the word. They're seeing the contextualization of the word. It's all there. And we don't have to write anything on the board because we just have to tick on the buttons. Okay, so they 5 more daily routines and 5 more free time activities. Suggested answer of the teacher. You can put sound to it.
Daily routines. Have breakfast, get dressed, go to school, work, do homework, do chores.
Okay, next exercise. What hobby mean? Look it up on an online dictionary.
A hobby is something we do in our free time for our own enjoyment.
Okay, now we're going to have to categorize the words because through categorization, it's easy to remember. So sports, we'll take a look at sports, cycling. Other, watching TV, art, playing a musical instrument. Or if you don't have time, just click here. All the answers will appear. Okay, you have to translate a word. Go to Word Up. So we have drawing,
Drawing.
señal. Okay, next exercise, another game. So we'll start here, click on the button. There's a timer. Find as many sports as you can which contain the words below in 2 minutes. So they're going to write that in the book, and then we can correct it with them. We can put the answers, and we can put sound.
Basketball.
So they're not only
Volleyball.
registering the answers, but we're associating it to sound. Next exercise, prepare a timetable. Now they're going to have to produce. And because we're very good teachers, we're always going to give them example of what we want them to produce. So this is the outline, what day it is, what routines, activities, hobbies you do, how you feel about this day, what would you change about this day, and that is the example. And we put
This is my
sound to
timetable
it.
for Thursday.
So, have you
It's my
seen the
busiest
amount
day
of
of the
sound
week.
we have? So the
I have the
student
same
is
morning
constantly
routine that I
listening
have
to a
every
native speaker
weekday.
in class.
And I have 7 lessons at
Okay,
school. After school,
the button is great. We've completed all the exercises on the page. We're going to go back, and we've done intro, reading, vocabulary. Now we're going to do a fun thing, grammar. Okay, so we have the grammar, and obviously teachers have asked us to clean it up as much as possible, make it as simple as possible, and trust me, we made it so simple that anyone can learn it. So we've contextualized the grammar, we'll explain it in English, and now we're going to do an exercise, carefully scaffold. So the basic exercise everyone does, and we work our way up for those who can do higher level exercises. Okay, the student's correct. João says, does Anne start, or is Anne starting her job next week? And he says, is Anne starting her job next week? Is correct. Paul is always talking. Paul always talks to me when I'm trying. And he said, always talks. The answer is always talking. And I'm going to take a couple of seconds to teach Pedro the grammar rule, but I'm going to explain it in Portuguese. So I'm going to compare the present simple for present continuous, and I'm going to explain as coisas que ocorrem no presente momento. George is sleeping at the moment. We use the present continuous. So I've taken a couple seconds to explain the grammar rule without having to write anything on the board, and he can visualize it in his L1. I close the grammar up, and I'm going to continue the exercise. Higher level exercise. We're going to correct it together. Boom, boom, boom. Teresa puts grabbing. I'm going to say, talking about interesting topics that grab. So I'm going to explain. We use grab because it's the present simple, because it's the start permanent routines and habit. We use the present simple. In a couple of seconds, I explain the grammar rule without having to write anything on the board, and I've personalized my lesson with Teresa in a couple of seconds. So I close the grammar up, and the box is gray. I finish or the button, I should say. I finished all the exercises on this page. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to do a listening. Now, listening here is a task-based listening. Have you noticed that in the previous pages, we're constantly listening? Now we're going to do a task. Okay, so before we start the listening, we have to do some preparation work with our students. So first, look at the extract below. How is this conversation taking place? They're only going to listen to conversations they would hear in a realistic English background based on their age level. Okay, so how's the conversation taking place? We read through it. Do you have any plans for Thursday afternoon? My favorite team is playing. Comprehension. Button with a question. Hey, I can't see you on the screen. I can see you. Oh, wait, my camera's turned off. Okay, I can see you now. So we're doing a little of comprehension here. From there, we're going to give them set, sentences so they understand. Anne and Lisa are going to sit exams soon. Anne already has plans on Saturday. Lisa doesn't go swimming very often. From there, we're going to do the listening. Now the listening set up 2 speeds. We have slow and normal. So right now it's set up as normal.
Hi, Anne. How are you?
Hi, Lisa. I'm well, thanks. What's up?
Well, we've been studying so hard for exams lately. Now that we've completed them, I think we should do something fun.
So, is Anne and Lisa going to sit exams soon? Anyone? Okay, I'll take a guess. False. Okay, and why? Rather than having to listen to the whole listening track again, you're only going to hear, or the student, I should say, where the answer came from. Let's listen.
Well, we've been studying so hard for exams lately. Now that we've completed them, I think we should do something fun.
Okay, so the answer that tells me is wrong. And if we open the tape script, it says, well, we've been studying so hard for exams lately. Now that we've completed them, I think we should do something fun. So it's obviously we can show them where the answer is, or they can listen to where the answer is, and that's why the answer is false. Okay, and we've done that. So we have a task-based listening in which we've put in the listening track a slow or regular pace. Okay, go to the next exercise. So we did the task. We did comprehension. We saw where they went right or wrong. And then we're going to do another task related to the listening. So they're not only listening for one time, but they're going to listen to it various times and with various different purposes. Okay, so what is an interjection? Read the definition, put the interjections in the correct category. We can do this cool, oh no, hey, or quicker, we would just put the answers up here, okay? So we're teaching interjection. Now we're going to go back and tell them, okay, you're going to go back and you're going to listen to the listening again and see if you can identify the interjections. Okay, so they're going to go back and listen again.
Hi, Anne. How are you?
Hi, Lisa. I'm well, thanks. What's up?
Well, we've been studying so hard for exams lately. Now that we've completed them, I think we should do something fun.
Okay, so if I click on this button right there, it's going to give me the answer.
Cool. Oh, hey, sounds great. Okay.
And if I click on this pad right there, you have the tape script and you can identify where the answers are. So we're not just doing one task-based listening. We're using the same listening and doing 2 tasks there. So we're reinforcing their listening skills. Okay? So any words that you have to work with there, more complex, you have the translator. The button is gray. I've finished all the exercises on the listening and I'm going to go back. Okay, so I'm going to go back. So I did intro, I did the reading, vocabulary, grammar, listening. We've already done another grammar, so I don't know. I'm going to do speaking. Listening and speaking, always in context to what they would hear at the same age. Okay, so we're going to take them through making arrangements via smartphone. Okay, so are you free this weekend? I've already made plans, so we're chunking phrases with them. Okay, teacher's answer. They can listen to it.
The people are making plans to do something together at the weekend.
If I click this button, I can translate any word that might be difficult. Next exercise. Now they're going to listen in karaoke format.
Hi, Nate. How are you?
Hi, Abby. I'm a bit tired. I've been studying all day. What's up?
So when they're doing this listening, they've seen all the vocabulary, all the grammatical structure. They've heard it in a different format, but the words are all recycled because we try to contextualize as much as possible. And that is the job of a good teacher. And we are, believe it or not, good teachers because we produce excellent students. Okay, so next exercise. Now in pairs, act out the dialogue. We have a checkup just to make sure you're on top of everything. When you finish your dialogue, check if you spoke in a clear voice, use correct language, stayed on topic, responded correctly, etc. And we can peer assessment when we do oral. Okay, after you speak, how did you do? How did your partner do? Use the checklist, verify. The button is gray. We've completed all the exercises on the page and we're going to go back. Okay, so we've done reading, vocabulary, grammar, listening, grammar, speaking, subunit. We've subdivided the unit to make it easier for the teachers. Reading, vocabulary, grammar. We have comprehension videos before you watch. Oh, I'm not good at characters, so I'll just put the answers up because I never make a mistake because I'm a good teacher there. Okay, I go back to the next exercise, watch the video. Click here.
Actors, now and then.
I can fast forward if I want.
Well-known characters.
I can take the subtitles. I
There
can
are
put the
few
subtitles
people around
back
the
on.
world who have not
I can
heard
pause and ask a question. I can
of the
play
TV show Friends.
on the same screen.
This comedy show ran
so
for
easy
10
for
years,
me.
from 19...
I can close the video. I can go back. I can close the video. It's all there. I can do the comprehension. I click here. The answers appear. Next. True, false. Same thing here. And now we're going to do a bit of critical thinking. Which actor had a similar job to the actors in the TV series mentioned below? What was their jobs? They can
Jennifer
listen to
Aniston
it.
had the same job as Rachel.
We can put the answers.
They were both
It's there.
waitresses.
Button
Hugh
is
Jackman and Wolverine
gray.
were both teachers. Mayim Biar
As I said, button is gray. We finished all the exercises. We go back, and the only thing that's missing is the writing. So we have the writing, before you write, suggested answer, subtitling. We can drag and drop, do it, or we can do it one by one. Okay, we have the writing bit with the tips. So articles always have a short, catchy title to attract the reader's attention. In the introduction, we introduce the topics, names of person, type of work each does, etc. Next exercise, we're going to do task analysis. Believe it or not, this is where a lot of Portuguese students go wrong because they're not able to interpret the task. So we're going to work with them, saying if it's a two-part task, who are we going to write, what is it going to be about, so that they're answering the correct question. So what are you going to write and who for? Click on the button with the question mark and it's going to underline where the answer is. What are you going to write about? Same there. Click on the button and answer there. Next exercise, now you're going to write the article. We can give them another, we have always the model right there. Or we can give them another model if we want, which is here, and guide them. So, listening.
Dress for Success. Changing Dreams. Vera Wang is a famous fashion designer, but she didn't always dream of designing clothes for the catwalk. In fact, she started out with a completely different career in mind. Starting from...
Okay, so we can go slowly, give them a second example, and that's why we have the dumbbell, and that means reinforcement of the text that appears in the student's book. Okay, we have a checkup to make sure we've covered everything in the writing before we hand it in the writing to the teacher. And then we have a checklist just to verify your work. Button is gray. We finished all the exercises in the writing. Or, if you want to, you can show it through a video, or they can watch the video at home and then you present how to do an article. So basically, this is a video that teaches your student how to write an
Let's
article.
read an article about a person.
So it can be used
Is
for
laughter the best
presentation,
medicine?
or it can be used for
Past and
reinforcement.
Adam
So when
Kay
the
is
student
a
goes
British
home,
comedian,
he forgot
TV
how to
writer,
write an
and author.
article, he can listen
But
to
he
the
hasn't
video,
always
and then he
worked
does
in the
it again.
entertainment business.
So it's here, you
In
can
fact,
expand
he had
it
a
if you
completely
want to.
different dream
You have a
job.
magnifying glass
dream
at your
to
disposal.
reality.
You can
Growing up,
highlight,
Adam
you
wanted
can
to be a doctor.
underline, you
Adam
can
studied
create a
hard at
note
university
box,
and
you
finally
can
started
download
working at
the
a
page,
hospital
you can
in
upload the
2004.
page, you can
However,
block whatever
in
you want,
2010,
you can
he quit
print,
because the stress
clear
of the job
everything,
was
go
affecting
back,
his
go
mental
forward,
health.
upload and download,
A
or
happier
go into
life.
the internet. You have
Nowadays,
all the
Adam's days
toolbars
are
you need,
different.
and you don't even need an interactive whiteboard. All you need, a computer, a projector, and your mouse. Okay, so shoot for the stars. So I've gone through the whole thing. Obviously, the best thing about this book, it's the way it's segmented. So obviously I did the reading, vocabulary, grammar. I can choose to do if I want to do this listening or maybe the next model's listening. Same with the speaking. It's up to you, or the writing. So you can choose and go at the speed you please and want to. Okay, so I've done the unit. At the back of the book, I have all the supplementary units. So I have values. So we talked about professions. Through a values lesson, I can supplement if I have time. If I don't have time, that's it. Just leave it back there. But the tools are there. You don't have to photocopy. Same here. So that it works along. You're going to listen to the text, subunit. You're going to do comprehension, drag and drop, or put the answers up. Every time the button appears with a question mark, it will justify where you got the answer. You can block any help with the text. It will tell you where the answer is. Any translation of the text, it's there, and they can always listen to the word. Okay, all at your fingertips throughout the whole book. Okay, now, obviously, we talked about an article. We can recycle this article through an email. So your friend has written an email to you about feeling bad because you can't achieve any of their goals. So write an email to them summarizing the article in the show button text. So you have the article there, summarization, and you can give them an example of what you want them to produce, and at the same time they can listen to that example. So the student is constantly listening.
That contains some advice that might help you.
Okay, so next exercise: how can information in the text be of help to you? We're going to do some critical thinking. Students are going to produce answers, and you can give them your answer as an example, and they can listen to
The information in the text can be of help
See
to
how
me
many
because I have
listening
lots
tracks
of
we've put
ideas,
into the
but I
software.
often don't
So your
finish the
student
things I
is
start.
constantly
I
listening
think
to your
if I stop
assistant
making
native teacher in
excuses
class.
and stop trying.
Okay, so next exercise in pairs. Prepare a poster with your favorite quotation about determination of goals. Okay, give them an example and they can listen to it. If you have to go to the help button, we've given you some quotes to guide them in case they can't find any. Next exercise, we have a web quest based on the thematic area, and everything is interlinked to each other. So we have an extra text to reinforce the text in the unit. It's there if you need it. If you have more advanced classes and you need more material, it's there. You choose to use it if you want. It's there. It's supplement and it's fully interactive. Okay, we go back home and we have our docs across the curriculum. So I'm going to take the same area of jobs, and this is a very hot item now, gender, race, and age. So we're going to do some comprehension, and I can work with the history teacher and produce a doc here. So same idea, give the answer. Next, we have a video, a reading video. And here we go.
breaking down barriers. Many people meet barriers at some point in their careers. While it should not happen in the modern world, the unfortunate truth is that it does. And for some of us, the only way to achieve success is to break down these barriers completely.
So, through a different text, we're going to recycle vocabulary that they have learned in the unit, grammatical structures. We have an option of doing a DAC here. We can take it one step forward since we're talking about an area that people are interested in. We can do some more questions based on the video. And we can also do some critical thinking. Okay, which of the stories you saw in the video impressed you? Why? Okay, and then we do our sub-exercise, comprehension. When we have a button with a question mark, it'll justify automatically where the answer came from. As you can see, it's not only in the unit, but we've done this throughout the whole book. This saves the teacher so much time, and it enables to provide them with a variety of texts if you wish to do so anyway. So next exercise, after you read what makes Hazel McCallion amazing, justifies the answer, close the text, you need help, it's underlined there for you. It's all there at your fingertips. So look at the ads and CVs below. Who would the glass ceiling breaker for the job be? Wanted nanny, obviously a male nanny, which is not very common. Click on the question button. It's going to justify. John Smith would be the glass ceiling breaker because people usually expect nannies to be women rather than men. And I was a nanny at one time, and tell you the truth, I loved it. Okay, after that, we can do a project. We are good teachers, and what do good teachers do? They always give an example so students know what to produce. So I'm going to give my example, and I'm going to bring it home to them, something that they know. So
Carolina Beatriz Angelo was a doctor and the first female surgeon in Portugal. But that wasn't the only glass ceiling she broke. She was also the first woman to vote in the country in the elections in 19...
Okay, so we're teaching them profession, we're through history, and bringing it to their culture, and constantly recycling all the vocabulary, grammatical structures that the students have seen in the unit. We want to reinforce, we can use the reinforcement button, take it to them step by step. Carolina Beatriz Angelo was a doctor, and the first female, anyone? Yes, surgeon in Portugal. That's why they named a hospital after her. Okay, and we can go back and compare the text there. Everything I want, I have accessible at my fingertips. The button is gray. We've completed all the exercises. We're going to go back, and we're going to go back. So we have progress track, very easy. Students do it. But the beauty of this is every circle that appears in the exercise becomes interactive. You can put the answers up and you can go around the class. And while they're correcting, you can see who has difficulties. Gives you those extra 2 minutes you can work with that student individually while everyone else is busy correcting. Okay, we're going to go back. We're going to go back home. So we have the festivities. Very easy. And the festivities, we're not only learning about Thanksgiving, but it has a cultural aspect. Thanksgiving in Canada, which is a little bit different than Thanksgiving in the US. We still do have the turkey and stuffing, so we can do listening. It's a task-based listening. Why? Because we have 2 speeds. We can open up this. They can follow along if they want to. If you have very low-level students, you can do it this way. Or you can close it, and then we do the comprehension. Same thing. Sub-exercise, correct the button. Karaoke listening.
While Americans celebrate this famous holiday
If
on the
you
fourth
need
Thursday of
extra
November,
help, you
Canadian
have extra
Thanksgiving
help,
is on the second
1963.
Monday of October.
Oh.
Americans and Canadians celebrate.
Okay, sorry about that. So, extra help, 1963, Abraham Lincoln made Thanksgiving an official holiday in America. In 1872, the official Canadian Thanksgiving holiday took place. Next exercise. Do people celebrate Thanksgiving or a similar holiday in your country? How do they celebrate it? Tell the class. But as I had mentioned previously, we are good teachers. And what do good teachers do? Yes, good teachers give an example. And I'm going to tie to as much listening as possible.
Yes, some people, usually Portuguese Americans, celebrate Thanksgiving in Portugal. They call it Dia de Ação de Graças here, but they celebrate it on the same day as people in the USA.
Okay, so we're bringing it home to them. And what happens in Portugal? Okay, we have the festivities. We have global citizenship, cidadania. Okay, so we have an extra text. Say you want to do, rather than a DAC, you can do a cidadania. Okay, so we learned about professions. So what would be related to citizenship? Volunteering, exactly. So we have click on the circle, becomes active, click on the button, it's the teacher's answer, put sound to it. Next, you have a video. Click on the video button.
Hi everyone, Naomi here, and I'm back. Have you ever felt unhappy about a problem in your local community? How about a new law you disagree with, or global warming? You probably think you can't do anything about these issues, but I'm here to tell you that we all have the power to change the world. I live in a town in...
Okay, go back. Comprehension. Listen.
Naomi and her friends started Pick Up Porthcawl. The group meets at a place in Porthcawl every Saturday and spends 3 hours picking up litter.
Okay, now, work in pairs. Which of these activities can make a difference? Locally, nationally, globally. Okay, we can click there. We translate any word that is more complex. It's there. And then prepare your vlog about active citizenship. Think about activities in your local community, national events, global citizens, and we give an example. Okay, next exercise. Film it and present it to the class. Help button if you have to go back and teach them how to make a vlog. It's there. Return. You have another text through a global citizenship perspective. Okay, so we have Grammar Plus. Okay, so at the back of the student book, remember when we were doing grammar on the present simple versus the present continuous? The exercises were scaffold, but I need more practice. So I'll go back to the Grammar Plus and I will go and reinforce low level first exercise. And as we work, the degree of difficulty increases. So let's go. Ben isn't traveling by bus every day. And João says isn't traveling. Oh, wow. It isn't traveling. It doesn't travel. It's a routine. But rather than going to write the explanation on the board, even here I have the explanation in Portuguese. So we use it para estados permanentes, rotinas e hábitos. He wakes up at 7 a.m. Oh, professora. Oh, já me lembro. Okay, so you've taken a couple of seconds to explain the grammar to him, rather than just leave him hanging on. Okay, so we're going to close that. And as I said, all the exercises are carefully scaffolded. You do based on the level of your class. They're there for you. Okay, so we have a whole Grammar Plus to reinforce if you feel needed. Okay, we have the DigiUp guide. And that is a flip book. At the back of the book, we have the Grammar Up again. We have the explanation in Portuguese. And still, if you need more exercises, they're there. Carefully scaffold. What do you do? Are you doing right now? And Joãozinho says, do you do? Eu digo, não, Joãozinho. Look at here, the rule, and I give the explanation right there. Okay? So, estados permanentes, rotinas, and hábitos, we use the present simple, and he sees it. Okay, we go back. We've done that. Oh, sorry, gonna go back there. We're missing up, word up. Okay, so you did vocabulary and the vocabulary pages, but you feel they need more reinforcement. We have reinforcement. Okay, they have the translation with sound, which you can
Go
practice
to
with
bed.
them.
Hang out with friends. Have a nap.
We can do more practice exercise, but we've changed the images. Remember this one, have a shower? Exactly. This one, go to bed. So we have more practice. We're recycling the vocabulary using different images. We have to translate any word. We go to word up. It's there. Next exercise, complete the sentence with the correct verb in the list, and so on, all carefully scaffolded. Okay, from there we have the workbook, and the workbook is mirrored from the student book. So we have vocabulary, grammar, speaking. We need more practice of grammar. Carefully scaffold. Okay, so we put the answer there. Okay, we're correcting it, still doesn't get it right. We go back and we explain the grammar in a couple of seconds. See how many times they've seen the grammar rule? Yes, because we know how important that is. Because if we were to write the grammar rule all the time on the board, can you imagine how much time consuming that would be? This way the student is constantly aware of the grammar rule, because it only takes a couple seconds to click on this button and explain to them the grammar. So we're catering to every single student need in that classroom. We're being as inclusive as possible. Okay, so we're going to go back. So it reviews vocabulary, grammar, speaking, grammar, more writing practice to reinforce, always with a guided model. We can do a little comprehension there. Okay, after that we have task analysis. We reinforce the task. We give them the plan, and we give them all the tips they need. They can listen to it.
Cody's New Life. Cody Co is a successful
We give them an
YouTuber
example.
and podcaster with
Right.
fans world.
And it's all there. We go back home. So we've reinforced everything. Okay, we go back to the workbook. We have self-check tests to make sure more practice. They can practice and correct at home. Or you can send this through Sala Digital. They do it, and the system will correct it for them. You can do it that way if you want to. It's there for you. Or you can correct it in class. You can do it any way you please. Okay, we go back. We have fun time for those fast finishers. Okay, so they finished. While I'm working with the lower level students, I want to keep them busy. We did the present perfect versus past simple. And here, to reward them, they're going to do a crossword puzzle. But in context to the grammar they've done, if we click here, the answer will appear. And while the other ones are working on their exercises in the unit, you can put the answers up and the fast finishers can correct, and everyone goes home with everything corrected. So you are teaching at various speeds based on the needs of your students. Amazing with the software, what it can do. It's, as I said, it's the teacher's best friend. So we're going to go back. We're going to go back home. Oh, let's see what else is in the workbook. We have quick check to review once more. If you want more practice, you've got it there. That will recycle everything. they need. And at this point, it's going to help them for the provish. Right there, recycling the whole thing. Okay, so from there, we have questões de aula. Now, we have lots of questões de aula in our sala digital, but do you know what it's like? Okay, so we did the grammar, present simple versus present continuous. I have 2 levels of questões de aula to teach them. Okay, so instead, I will just say, instead of photocopy, I'll say, take out a piece of paper, put your name on it, and write the numbers in the answers. Okay, so everyone takes out a piece of paper, they put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they give the correct answer. Now I'm going to say, pass the quiz down, 2 students down, and that student is going to correct the quiz. I put the answer, the student scores it, I collect the quizzes, and all I have to do at home is register the marks. See how much time I'm saving? Yes. And the best thing, I'm constantly assessing them because I have the tools to do it. I don't even have to photocopy it. All they have to do is write the answers on a piece of paper, pass them down, the colleague will correct them, you project the answers, and you collect the quizzes. And so you're able to do a constant formative assessment. Fantastic. So you have them there, you choose the ones, we have them for reading, we have them for vocabulary, for the grammar, for the listening, for the grammar, for the speaking, the reading, it's all there. You choose which ones you want, lower level, higher level, you can't go wrong. We're gonna go back home, and the same thing with the diagnostic test at the beginning of the year, and we have speaking, we want to guide them to speaking, we can do the pathway of speaking with them so that they know in terms of register and response. We go back home, and we have the extensive reader. Well, teachers have asked us, we want an English author, and we've come up with the Hounds of Bakersfield so they can listen to it, okay? Karaoke format.
And so they all sat while Dr. Mortimer told her...
Okay, we can do critical thinking. Okay, and we can compare it to our
One
culture.
legend I know is the Curse of the Braganzas, or A Maldição dos Braganzas.
Okay, there for you, easy to get along. Okay, from there we have the board games, we have the reader video. So we, in a fun way, besides the games embedded in the software, we can do a general game. I'm going to play this quickly with you because I love games. 1, 2, yellow.
Yellow.
Which,
Speaking
we learned that. Which
Which
interjection is negative?
negative?
Oh.
A.
2 teams divide the class, left side, right side.
Great. The correct answer is...
Uh-oh.
So?
Blue. Reading questions. You should do the same tasks every day. A. True. B. False.
Great. The correct answer is...
False.
So, we're not only testing them on grammar, vocabulary, listening, also on reading comprehension. So when they're reading the test and they know they have these games, they're more attent to retain information. Okay, so the games, we have 1 game for each module, and they'll recycle all those skills. Okay, go back home. We have all the videos organized there. We have more reading comprehension. We have critical thinking, if you choose to use it. We also have the word list. You can do it, all the words by module, by letter, by search. So you can review all the words before the test.
Advantage, affect, afford, alone, application, arrange.
You can send this to them. They can
Attitude,
study them by
attract.
themselves if they want through Sala Digital. It's all available to them. Okay, so that is how our teacher's ebook works. The teacher's best friend. All you have to do is close it. Are you sure you want to quit? Yes, because I want to go home. Pull out the flash drive. You don't have to worry about internet and you're good to go. And the only thing you have to bring to class is a flash drive. No books to carry you down or nothing. You want to prepare? You prepare at home. Everything you need is on the flash drive, or as we say in Portuguese, the pen. Well, teachers out there in teachers land, this is the end of my session. Thank you for assisting. If you have any doubts or any questions, please contact us. We're here to help you. We might not be big, but we are small and we care about English teachers. Yes, we do discriminate because we only like English teachers. So if you want us to come to your school and show the software, just call us or email us or through social media, and we'll send one of our lovely promoters to your school and they'll explain the software in person to you or to your colleagues. And if you do decide to adopt any of our projects, we will go to your school and make sure that all the teachers know how to use our software. For me, I will sign off and say good night and thank you for being here today.